Hello there, my name's Christian Payne. Ever found yourself in the situation where you've had to buy a new laptop for either your staff or yourself, time to upgrade, a new staff member, the old one died, and you get this overwhelming sense of fear. You get this dread, you get this panic, you get some bad advice, you're not sure what to do, and you don't want to make a dumb mistake. It was really interesting. A few days ago I was in the shop and I half overheard a woman who gave me the inspiration of recording this because she'd been given some advice from her technical person, but it didn't make sense. And it was a bit of I got the sense that it was a bit of a throwaway. Oh, you just get that and you'll be fine. And this poor woman was confused. She was sensible and she didn't want to make the wrong decision. The sales assistant there he's willing to help, but he didn't understand. She couldn't articulate what she wanted. She couldn't articulate what was important. And so you get this sort of weird Mexican standoff where it just seemed pointless. And so what I wanted to record this and hopefully help with you today is how can you go through that process? What have you got to do? What questions have you got to ask? What decisions have you got to make beforehand so you can have an amazing fun time and perhaps even enjoy your new laptop? So let's get into it. Time frame. How long is this thing going to last? And I've got a friend who's an author and her keyboard looks just like that. It's crazy. But, keep in your head, is this a 2-year, 3-year thing? It doesn't really matter what that number is, but that number is important. So how long will this thing last? Probably shorter than your current one. So if you've had your current one for 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 years, set a budget. Now, I tell you what, if I know you should add $500 because you're being too stingy. This is a tool. It's not a toy. It's not a frivolous expense. It's a tool for your business. And if you spread that out over the 3 years, for example, $3,000 over 3 years, it works out. It's not that much per month. So step number 3, find a real reputable store in Sydney. We've got JB Hi-Fi, Harvey Norman, Apple and Officeworks. Any of those are fine. What we don't want is an online store. So don't buy your laptop online. And the reason why is a few. The brick and mortar retailers, they work by high volume, high turnover. So they just want the stuff. They want to get it in and then dump it and sell it, get rid of it. They don't want stock returns. They don't want to faff around. They make volume. So they make profit on volume and high turnover. If you've got a problem or fault, you're going to take it back to that store and you'll get it addressed straight away. Again, they don't want the drama. They don't want the hassle. If you purchase through online, you'll need to, connect to a customer service person, explain why you've got a cost to ship the thing back. They will do some assessment and then you may or may not, whatever. It's penny pinching. You're penny pinching for the wrong thing. Refunds or exchanges. So let's say it's the wrong size, wrong cable, wrong whatever. The brick and mortar retailers, they don't care. Oh, if that's what you want, good. Here you go. Get out of the store. So it's high turnover. Online retailers don't care. They make money on a sale. They made a sale, so they're going to be difficult to deal with. The other one is online stock is old stock you can't get rid of. So if you've got some laptops that are 12 months, 18 months old, they can't get rid of it. No one else wants it, so you just put it online, and they'll just sell it when they have. So it's going to be rubbishy old stuff that no one else wants. So don't buy online. Step number 4, go to the store and literally go into the store, pick it up and have a look around and hold it. Bring your backpack or bring your handbag or whatever you're going to lug this thing around in. Bring it up. Does it fit? Pick it up. Can you carry this thing on the train? Or wherever you're going to move around, and can you have this thing on your shoulder? For me, I like Lenovo, and they're very light. It's like my previous ones were always heavy, clunky, fast machines, and it just got too painful carrying the thing around everywhere. And here's the process. If a sales assistant comes up to help you, here's what you should do. Help them. For goodness sakes, make their job easier. They don't care. They're generally not on commission, and if they are, the commissions are tiny. So their KPIs or what they're measured on is helping people or turning over stock. So help them, making it really clear you're not wasting their time. So there's 2 options. Either you're just looking or your budget is. Step number 3, brand isn't important, and I'll explain in a moment why, but the physical size and weight is. So tell the person what it is. I want this to fit into my backpack. I want this to fit in whatever the heck it is. Tell them. The features aren't important. So, the disk space or the processor, all that, it doesn't matter. Like, be guided by your budget. Don't worry about those sort of features. And Mac or PC, that's up to you. Mac is a premium. It just costs more, but that's up to you. And you go, well, what about RAM? And RAM is memory, and more the better. So, 8, 16, 32. Generally, I'd suggest 16 even now. It's one of those things you can save 100, 200, 300 bucks. We'll see that in a second. And that doesn't matter now, but in 12 and 18 months' time, that'll make a massive difference. So just spend a few $100 up. You're looking for, I would suggest, 16 gig or 32. Basically, the higher the number, the more Google Chrome windows you can keep open. So disk space, sort of again, just holds more stuff. I would suggest 512 and more, but just sort of see. If you're doing, unless you're just doing Word and Excel stuff, anything beyond that, then you want a bit more. Again, you won't notice it now. You will in 12 and 18 months' time. The processor is the brain. This should be guided by your budget. The bigger the number, the better, but it doesn't really make much of a difference, and you can't notice it. Okay, so one will be technically faster than another, but you won't see that. The inches is the diagonal size, and what's better, a 15-inch or 13? I don't know. Have a look. Have a look at the 13-inch versus the 15 one. Depending on the laptop, it's more things like the border around it. So if it's a bigger screen, it's going to be a bigger border. It's going to be heavier. The screen will be thicker. You've got to carry this thing around. So this is why holding it in a tactile touch and feel is so important. So let's look at a couple of examples. And so I took this on the weekend, and I just took a photo of the higher end one. So we've got a $3,000, 1900, or two at 1900. Don't look at the sale price. Okay, look at what the normal price is. The sale price is the icing on the cake. The one on the left is a 9th generation Intel i7 512 16 gig. So that ticks all the boxes. It's $3,000, okay, which sort of makes sense. The next one down, it's very similar. So it's an i7, 10th generation, actually faster, 16 gig and 512. It's a different brand, and so, pick that up. To have a test, though, this is what I do, and the sales assistants don't mind you doing this. Turn them both off, hit the power button at the same time. Which one comes up quickest, And if it's negligible or very, very similar, then that's fine. But you might see that, oh yeah, that one there is heaps longer. Close the lid and then open it and see how long does it take to come back to life. They're the tests. That's definitely how you can tell a good laptop from an okay one. And yeah, as we sort of go down the list, we go down a bit further, an Asus there. It's a 512 and 8 gig RAM. It's couple of $100 cheaper, and the next one down is the HP 10th generation i5 8 gig RAM 512. So, and you can start to see, like, again, the borders around. It's a thicker, wider laptop, so it's sort of what you feel, what's comfortable for you. The other sort of type of laptop are gaming laptops, and what that used to be like a small PC in a laptop. That's how that sort of style started. The gaming in it, the screens generally are faster, so they're more appropriate for games, but it kind of give or take. They're generally more gruntier for the price you're paying. If you've got a developer or someone doing graphic design or any of that sort of stuff, I would almost always think they would want this sort of style. Let them make that decision. Ask them which one do they want, and just keep that budget really open, because you can see the more expensive ones, they're bigger, they're clunkier, and so I don't know if it's important. I do know a happy staff member makes the world of difference, so it's it's much cheaper than a pay rise. Go buy it, It's pretty simple. And you might be saying, well, what about things like extended warranty? And I always say get the extended warranty. For me, I think it's like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 have had a hardware failure over that lifetime. So the warranty is just, otherwise it's a dead laptop, and you'll go from one day it's fine, the next day it just doesn't work. So always get the extended warranty. It's going to be the life cycle of whatever you define. That's why the step number 1 is to know how long is this thing going to last. Generally, the laptop is only Windows or only Mac, like the Mac OS. That's all. It doesn't come with the other things like Office 365 or Adobe or any of that other stuff. That is in addition. But if you're moving from one to another, generally you can move the license off the old machine to the new one. But again, like that licensing and stuff is just so cheap these days. It's just buy it. It doesn't cost much. And we were talking before about brands, like, well, what about, HP versus Asus versus Lenovo versus Acer? And there's a few trains of thought. Because you're going into a retailer, they are all the same. There isn't a good brand or a bad one when you're in those big box stores, because they wouldn't sell them. If a particular brand was particularly faulty, JB Hi-Fi would be on the phone to Acer, and they would get that fixed really, really quickly. So there isn't good or bad. I've had bad runs with certain brands, but I'm not too jaded. So just be open to that. What I would suggest, and I have seen this definitely happen, is get the same as everyone else. So brand consistency is important, because if someone forgets their charger or needs a power cable or whatever the heck it is, you can just borrow it from someone else. I've seen other workplaces where everyone's got a different brand, and you're kind of stuck. So it's good to have the same one for those sort of reasons. So to recap, step number 1 was your time frame. How long will this thing last? Step number 2, set a budget. Step number 3, find a retailer, a proper store. Step number 4, pick it up, go into the store, hold it. Does it fit into your whatever? And step number 5, buy it. And step 6, if you want some add-ons, so extended warranty, generally offered by the reseller. So, yeah, good luck in your adventures. My name's Christian Payne. Have a wonderful day.